everyone. This is a Popcorn Heroes review of Insecure Season 4, Episode 5. Right? I'm right.
Halfway through.
I am Armando. With me today is, back for the first time, Mike. What up?
Hey,
damn.
Good to be back for the first time.
Yo, welcome
man,
back.
This guy, man. We've been missing you, man. And God's Gift, Orlando.
Yo, what up?
What's up, man? All right, guys. As we usually do in this Insecure review, HBO's Insecure review, is that we just go straight into the episode. There's no spoiler-free talk. We just go ahead and start talking about it. So let's lead it off with Mike. Mike, since you're the first time here, how did you like the... Not in this Insecure episode breakdown we've been doing, but how did you enjoy the latest episode?
Well, shouldn't we talk with Mike about the episodes that previously occurred? We should.
Talk about the episodes that you reviewed already. Wow, that's crazy.
We'll bring it up. Let's just tell you how you felt about the latest episode, Mike.
I thought it was a pretty good episode. Probably the best. Definitely the best episode this season.
Really?
Yeah. It's the funniest episode by far. That shit was hilarious.
What was funny about it?
Just the interactions. Which is the big friend Kelly faking the British accent with the guy the whole time, and then when shit go down, I'm from Philly, nigga.
That shit was hilarious.
That shit was so funny.
Oh man, there was another one that was funny, and a funny interaction. At the end when they were doing when the girl screaming out, "Knife! That girl has a knife!" and everyone just starts scattering, and then somebody goes, "Man, black people can't have shit."
He just keeps running too. This is probably the most relatable episode I've seen. That's every good event I've ever been to. That's how it ended. That shit was so great.
It was hilarious, man. Orlando, what did you think?
I agree with Mike. It's probably the best episode of the season. It's the most lighthearted episode until the end.
Yeah.
And just being at music festivals myself, like it is, it is pretty much like that. It's the same vibe, and then obviously some of these artists are actually real artists, so it's cool that like you get to see that, and like you get to see them like jam out. Like it seemed like everyone there, working wise, like making that episode, just had a good time.
Yeah.
So like that chemistry just came off screen, and so I agree. It was like the most fun I've had watching this season so far.
Yeah, I would agree with. I wouldn't say it was the best episode of the season. I mean, we still got like 5 more to go, or whatever. But I think it was, like you said, the most lighthearted one. It felt good watching it. Like you could tell everyone had a good time doing that episode, and it felt very LA, I guess you can say. Like just seeing, because I'm pretty sure I've been on that street before when I was driving with my family, so I kind of know how it looks like. So I just seeing how they straight up cut off that street, dude. I'm pretty impressive that they were able to do that just to film that shit. So it was pretty cool seeing all that happen, and pretty much almost all the characters were there except Lawrence wasn't there.
Yeah, that's what I was waiting for. What?
I was waiting for Lawrence too, but he wasn't there. I was just like, damn. And his other friend wasn't there either.
Yeah.
So it was just cool seeing that how everybody was there, kind of interacting with each other.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed that part. So what I wanted to talk about is, how do you guys feel about the relationship now between Molly and Issa? Do you think I have a feeling that Issa just kind of was too quick to dismiss the relationship after so many years, and I felt that Molly,
Issa,
wasn't
Molly.
Molly was trying towards the end. Oh,
nah,
she
Molly
was definitely a hater, but I think she was trying though. There are certain parts where I feel like she was trying. Like if you reflect back on the phone call with what Issa did last episode, that she thought they was gonna have a conversation, but it wasn't a conversation. And then I think at the beginning it was mostly Molly being the stressful person, but at the end it was just Issa who was just kind of just ran away.
Cause she's over like the little petty, all the bullshit. She's tired of it. I'd be tired too.
No.
I don't see how you can. I don't know. I felt like Issa did as much as a normal sane person can do to try and keep a friendship going, but everything. I mean, they both have, I guess, these little jabs. They've had jabs at each other. Just it seems like their entire friendship. But I feel like Molly's been taking it either more personally or at least taking it to the next level this season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
Orlando, you're so quiet, man.
Well, I want to ask Mike. Looking back so far in this season, Mike, because they are throwing jabs at each other, but you don't think Molly's jabs are like, you don't think they're as strong as Issa? Like, there have been jabs of like, yo, what are you doing with this love triangle between Condola and Lawrence, and like, what are you doing in terms of like, yo, like your headliner dropped out, like, what are you doing? Like, how did that happen? Like, do you think that does
that matter though? Like, all right, if I come to you and I'm bleeding and I say I need help, are you gonna say, damn, how'd you get shot? Or are you gonna try to fucking help me? Nigga, I need help me live right now, and then we can discuss what happened. But I need a lifeline like right now. If we're friends, nigga, don't worry about what happened.
I get you, but also I think it's a valid reason of like, your headliner doesn't drop out just for no reason. Like,
you're right.
So
who cares? Let's solve the problem, and we can figure out everything after.
Okay, but I don't know. I did think that was like a valid reason. But so let's go moving forward. So she asks Molly to like ask Andrew for help. Molly says no. She goes to Nathan. How do you feel about that?
I would have done the same shit. Fuck Molly. I don't fuck with Molly no more. The bitch a hater. The bitch is a hater. It don't make no sense.
I think she had valid reasons though not to go to her boyfriend.
You said you ain't want to be a part of this. All right, you're no longer a part of it. What you want now?
Yeah, I do agree. I agree with you, Mike, in the sense that like that if like I understand Molly and I give her opinion of like, yeah, for sure, you're right. You don't want to. It's new. You don't want to act something so big of your boyfriend. You never know what can happen. But if your friend goes to someone else that's closer to that person, then you shouldn't feel bad about it. Like, exactly. You weren't involved. That's it. You're done. And like I don't necessarily feel or think that she was backstabbing her. Because in the essence, the only way they would have met, the only reason she met that guy is because of Issa. So, like, True. It's just in the long term of things, Issa knows him more, quote unquote, than you. I mean, longer than you have, I guess, at this point. And especially given the fact that she was, dating the best friend of this guy. So the best friend could easily ask that favor, regardless if the girl can't, Yeah,
it's not like she went around introducing herself to Andrew's friends or whatever just to try and get a connection. She already had a connection to him. She's not using you, exactly. which was your whole thing. You don't want to fuck up your relationship. All right, whatever. To me, that's still bullshit. But whatever. If that's your reasoning, more power to you. So she goes around, still finds a way to try and save her event, and you still mad? I don't understand.
Yeah. So my thing is that my thought process is that, like, well, I agree. Like, Molly's reasoning is valid. Like, at the time of that episode, Andrew and her are not clicking. Like, it's still brand new. Like, it's still like, what are we doing? We have some road bumps to get through. So yeah, I understand you not wanting to ask. All right, and you don't want that to affect your relationship. Okay, so I went this other route that has nothing to do with you and won't affect your relationship at all, because him and Nathan are best friends. They're roommates. And at the end of the day, like, if Nathan had a problem with it, he would have said, nah, like, this is not going to affect, like, obviously Nathan and him are going to be cool. And like, and then at the end of the day, like, Andrew didn't have a problem with it. Andrew was just like, yeah, I did my thing. So it's just like no, it's like no harm, no foul, like, why are you coming up and bringing this up now? I think obviously they're fighting over other things. Obviously they're mad at each other for other reasons, but if you're mad for other reasons and you're coming at me for this bullshit, like, this is not the reason why you're upset, but I mean,
what I'm curious about is that why did he hide it from her though? why he didn't tell her, hey, I got the artist for Issa in her event,
He probably think it was a big deal. I wouldn't think it was a big deal.
He probably knew though. Like he probably knew that because it seems like he knew or he know that they're beefing. So he's kind of like,
know they were having like. He didn't mention that though, that he knew that they were having issues or whatever, but he didn't think. I mean, he thought she would still want him to help Issa.
Exactly,
which is what a friend would want.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, he thought like, okay, like I could do this easy favor. It's not a big deal for me to do it, and also like if you do find out, you might be like, oh, thanks a lot, babe. Like because it could have went that other way. It could have went the way of like, oh, you did that for Issa. I didn't know. Like, yeah, I was gonna tell you, but you guys are having problems. But I knew that like it mattered to Issa, so it mattered to you because you're her best friend. So I did it anyway. And it could have went like, oh, thank you so much. That's so nice of you. But instead, it went the like, what the fuck, like nuclear.
Yeah. Instead of like a normal person would react, oh, you looked out for my friend. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Right. And I think it's because it's like we said, like they're fighting over something else. Like they're literally mad at each other over other bullshit, and this is like what broke the camel's back. So
yeah, they essentially these first 5 episodes have been miscommunication between them. I think if they were just had talked it out, months ago, they would have done it.
They whatever it is that I don't think it's beyond them talking it out because it feels more personal between them two now. Like they don't approve of they no longer approve of each other's lifestyles or lifestyle choices, I guess. Issa has always been, I guess, well, at least after the whole Lawrence thing, she's been like a mess since then, which Molly doesn't approve of anymore. And Molly's just always been a fuck up when it comes to relationships, which Issa doesn't approve of. And to them, it seems like the other one is always self-sabotaging. But when you're in it, I guess you can't really see. You don't feel like you're self-sabotaging, but you're doing whatever the fuck you're doing. And for whatever reason, they can't see. They're pretty similar in that regard.
Yeah, that's true. That's absolutely true. Yeah. So essentially, you guys, I was pretty shocked of how it happened. This all happened now. I thought it was this end game type of end of the season finale shit that me and Orlando have been, guesstimating at. So were you guys shocked seeing it happen midway through the season?
I'm so happy that it happened now because, like me and you were saying, Amanda, I was like, I'm so done for the season to be over because, like, I know what it's leading up to. So it's kind of annoying if I get more arguments between Molly and Issa. It's annoying if I get, like, what is Lawrence up to? Like, are they going to be a thing? Like, that's kind of annoying when there's so much more we can do at the story. So I'm glad that, like, it fast forward. And you see the event happen, and we know that, like, okay, this is the end now of the relationship. So now it kind of opens up the gates of, like, okay, now what is the rest of the season looking like? Are Molly and Issa gonna, like, make up at the very end? Are they gonna, like, have fights all the way through the whole season and then, like, continue to be broken up at in season 5? And then the same thing goes with Lawrence and Issa and now Nathan or whatever. Like, is Lawrence going to try some fuckboy shit and try to get into Issa's pants and, like, start that shit up again?
Is that fuckboy shit?
That's not fuckboy shit, but...
He's single. What the fuck?
Yeah,
Get back in them drawers, nigga. That's what you're supposed to do when you're single.
All right, so before we move on, because I want to touch upon that, but what do you guys feel about Issa and this the new guy? What's his name? Nathan. She was kind of awkward with him, right?
Well, they've been
she got
together.
What she needed.
Yeah, they fucked and he ghosted her. So yeah, of course they're awkward.
Yeah, I mean, I would assume after him helping her and they conversating, then she was very, very awkward when they saw each other. It was just like she didn't want to even see him, type of thing.
Because she knew what he was on. He was trying to get back in them drawers too, and she was like, "Nah, I needed Vince Staples. I don't know what all this other shit is."
Yeah, I think it's because, like, he ghosted her, dude. Like, he just straight up, like, he left her. I think they slept together, and literally, like, he left. He wasn't in the same bed. Like, he literally, like, ripped and dipped, I think, or something similar. I don't
think that's how it was.
No, but he did ghost her though.
I think
he ghosted her after something like that. I don't necessarily think it was after
like
sex.
That. So it's kind of like, it's like why it is like why would you want to see him? And like you know, like he spells trouble. Like even though he helped you out, like why would you want to move that forward? Unless he apologize and like they work shit out and they actually get down to the root of the problem. But like the way it was set up, it was kind of like, okay, yeah, I think she used Nathan obviously to give Vince Staples. I think like that was clearly what happened. But at the end of the day, he did hit her up. So like he was on some shit like, hey, like I'm happy for you, but also like this is me throwing out my line, you know. And she needed the help, and also like, you know, who knows like what can happen now. So
yeah.
How'd you feel, Mike?
I guess so.
I felt like I said, she used him, and I mean, he obviously still wants something. I don't know if it's. I doubt it's like a relationship or whatever, but he obviously was trying to at least get things to be more cordial, more friendly. I'm sure he has like an ulterior motive.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely, that's.
So he can't turn around.
He wouldn't help her about it.
He can't turn around and like, you know, they could work something out in terms of relationship. What do you guys think on that front?
No, that's not gonna happen.
Not at all.
I don't think so. After seeing the way she acted with him, even though they had talked before, and then the way she acted, she was very weird with him when she saw him, and I was just like, yeah, this is not gonna go anywhere. It was essentially, she was like, I got you for I got what I needed from you, and now I don't want you anymore in my life. So it was just kind of that awkward, like, oh man, I don't know what the fuck you're doing here type of thing.
Yeah.
And it was just very weird.
Yeah,
so
I didn't get that vibe.
I don't think anything's gonna happen.
I didn't get that vibe of like, I used you and now please leave. I didn't get that because.
You didn't get that?
Issa's awkward. Issa's always awkward for anybody.
Because you never used somebody and needed them to leave. That's why. You can recognize it when you see it. You recognize the toxicity in somebody else.
So you're right. So you get. She was throwing out that vibe like, why the fuck are you here? Was that her face?
Yeah, because she was even like happy to see him. Like, oh hey, like you saved this event. Like type of happiness. It was just kind of like, oh, hey. That's kind of like, that's not awkward, dude. That's just, if she was happy to see him but awkward, it would have been different.
Should have ran up to him or something. Oh, thank you so much. Blase, blase. You came through for me when I needed you.
Not even all that. It was just kind of like, oh, hey, thank you for being here. Thank you for this type of thing. Like she usually does when she's awkward and thankful. And you've seen her do that earlier in the season.
Yeah.
But when she sees him, she's just kind of like, oh, like, damn, I didn't want you to be here type of thing, you know? It felt very awkward. It felt very weird. Okay. And it wasn't awkward nice like she usually is. It was just awkward like, yeah, like, why are you here awkward?
I guess we got to see how that plays out then in the next episodes. So how did you guys feel about Condola, Lawrence, Issa, that whole triangle?
That's a question I want to ask Mike.
Yeah, Mike, what's going on? Tell us.
How did you feel about that whole thing?
About
Lawrence and Condola, the Lawrence Condola relationship, and how Issa kind of was not in there, but you know, whole thing that happened.
I never really thought it was gonna last with Condola because that whole dynamic of him having him and Issa dating previously, Issa being that shit never works in real life, and they obviously still have some kind of feelings for each other. They can't move forward in that kind of relationship. There's no way. It's not possible.
Yeah. How did you feel about that question that Condola asked him, which essentially probably broke the camel's back, essentially?
That pointless ass question? How did you feel about that?
Yeah, how did you feel about that interaction?
That pointless ass question.
It was stupid. When they was at the dinner or whatever,
if you did cheat, would you still be with her? That question.
Nah, bitch, we wouldn't be together. What the fuck? Of course. What sense does that make? If she didn't cheat, yes, we would be together. Why would I have left? She was taking care of me when I wasn't doing shit. Who leaves that? That's insane. I had to get a job. You see what happened after this bitch cheated on me? That's crazy. No, I would have stayed.
I had to fucking work out and like apply myself.
Changed my whole life. Shit was going good. But that's a ridiculous. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to ask. If nothing bad had happened in your relationship, would you still be together? Yes, we would still be together.
Yeah, that's obvious. But the obviously what she is asking is like, yo, you over your ex? That's
Oh, you're
basically.
talking like a hoe now. You're talking like a woman. It's not obvious. If it was obvious, you would have said it.
Yeah, that questioning is kind of like beating around the bush.
Exactly.
And you're not being forward with your questioning.
If your question is, would we still be together? I can answer that question directly. Don't tell me what you meant by it or what you thought of. Nah, just tell me what the fuck you had to say.
Yeah, that's what I was saying on that. Like, if you wanted to ask if I still have feelings, that's a separate conversation from a hypothetical. Of,
different question.
Like, yeah, it's you're asking me a hypothetical, and then you're asking me straight up about my feelings. Like, those are two different things. And hypotheticals are hypothetical. Like, anything could have happened, in a hypothetical
anyways.
Right.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So I mean, if she really wanted to know how he felt, she should have just been like, "Do you miss her, or do you still have feelings for her, or something like that?"
And who knows? They probably had that conversation off screen that we just don't know about, since it's been.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of things have happened off screen.
Yeah, because obviously, like, we've seen Andrew and Molly fix their relationship. They seem good. They seem healthy. Even when Andrew was talking to Molly about, like, hey, you see how, like, work can get in the middle of a relationship? And Molly's like, all right, you got me. Like, you're right. So clearly they have worked things out. So in that respect, maybe Condola and Lawrence have had conversations off screen of like, yo, like, do you still love Issa? Are you not over her? What the fuck is going on? So I'm wondering to see what happened, because timeline, we don't know the timeline really. So like at that party where the baby was born,
I think it's been a month.
Yeah, but when that baby was born, did they just break up? Where they are about to break up? Like.
I think they had just broken up. It seemed, because he was like, "Oh, I gotta talk to you about something." And and it seems like he was gonna tell her. And me and you talked about it last episode, and that we both hypothesized that it's essentially that the breakup talk, like, "Hey, I broke up with Condola, whatever."
Yeah.
Because Condola was already ghosting her at that point.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it was a right thing for Condola to do, to ghost Issa?
No. Because they're business partners. Like, you need to keep that shit professional, regardless of how you feel.
They was never going to be able to keep it professional. They was already making it awkward while they were trying to keep it professional. They couldn't keep it purely professional before something big had happened. So if something big happens, it just makes it worse.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it was a tough situation to be in. And I think the fact that they were hanging out even afterwards, and like they were getting too personal for something that should have been strictly a business type of thing. I think they were trying to have the best of both worlds, when at that point you shouldn't have. You should be strictly business or be friends, either business or friends.
Yeah, situation is too
and I think
weird.
they were trying to play that line. Yeah, it was way too weird. So you actually do all of you think that it's because of Issa that they broke up?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I think for her to have ghosted her, at the very least, she feels it's because of Issa. I don't know if Lawrence would agree, but she feels like they broke up because of her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. I agree with that.
Yeah.
It's an awkward situation.
I think they need to have, like, I think both at this point, I don't think Issa and Condola are going to even talk. Like that.
No, they're not going to talk anymore.
Nah, that's
it.
awkward ass. I will catch up. Whatever they said, that shit was so awkward.
Let's
never see each other again.
Yeah.
I'll see you around never.
Yeah, they're not hooking up again.
It was bad. Yeah, it was so bad. That was probably like one of the most fucked up part of the whole thing, is like that could have been your chance of like, hey, like I couldn't talk to you anymore because I feel like we were never friends. The whole Lawrence thing is too awkward. Like I couldn't do it. And I think she should have just been honest about it, and that's it. And they would have been like, all right, cool. I guess we're just leave it as it is and never talk again.
But I don't think they need to have that conversation. Like, for a friendship that was pretty new, mostly established through a business. And now that the business has ended, they don't really need to talk about it. Like, it is an awkward conversation to have. So like at that point, like, it shouldn't really, like, they're not good. It's not worth having. Because the end result's the same. Like, they're not going to be friends. They really can't work this out. So I don't think they need to have that conversation at all. Like, I guess they have like I'll see you around was like, it reminded me of like this episode of like Fresh Prince. You probably have seen this episode,
I've
Mike,
seen all the episodes.
where I forgot.
Yeah, he has.
He was dating this fine ass girl, and then she was just like, "Oh, this isn't goodbye. It's see you later." And then you never see her again. You know what I'm saying? You know, I don't know why.
Yeah.
I love that line so much, but yeah, I think it's like that. Like, you know, we're not gonna talk after this. You know, like, this is our final goodbye, and that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like they're lifelong friends where they're gonna miss out on this big chunk of their lives anymore. They're adults. They just met each other. They'll be fine without each other.
Exactly. And then at the end of the day, like, you've seen like Condola's like friends, like, it doesn't even mesh with Issa. Like, that friendship was, I would have liked it for it to work out, but there's just too much shit in the way for it to even like begin to flourish.
Yeah. So you guys feel essentially that Issa and Lawrence are gonna get back together at this rate?
That's a good question. I feel like they'll try. I feel like Lawrence is rethinking that whole situation. I don't know if Issa's really rethinking it like that, but I feel like Lawrence is thinking maybe he jumped the gun with. I mean, I don't think he jumped the gun. Fuck that bitch. But I feel like he thinks that, you know, he thinks there was more to it. Maybe.
Do you think that they're setting it up as like, because, you know, Lawrence is getting his shit together, or has got his shit together, and is continuing to get his shit together. So do you guys think that, like, are they gonna do this like thing where like maybe they get back together at the end of season 4, and then the tables have turned, Issa's the fuck up, Lawrence is on top, and then Lawrence is just like, what the fuck? Because that would be an
not really, dude.
No,
I don't see that because if you think about it, she essentially kicked off a huge event.
Yeah.
And it went out great, except for the end where the fake stabbing happened. But apart from that, she had a great event. So it's not like she was at a position where he wasn't doing anything. She did something. Yeah. And it was great. It was a great something. So it comes down to is, can she do it again? So maybe the coming seasons are going to be, that's probably going to be her issues, if she can replicate that event and be successful with that event again, or if she can make it happen, or all this other shit.
Maybe she works for like
maybe
an event
Lawrence
coordinating company or something.
Probably somebody likes what she did and be like, hey man, we could do this shit bigger, join us, you know.
Right.
Yeah, it seemed like a really good event other than that bullshit at the end.
Yeah,
I mean, and all the white people at the beginning.
Yeah.
And all the white people at the end.
But that's all festivals though.
It was a farmer's market. Oh man, that shit was hilarious. So yeah, man, I think she's either gonna get picked up by somebody or she's gonna do it again. So I don't think this is gonna be her bumming it up. I think this was her coming out party, and a potential future career she could have. The thing is, how is that all gonna play out, or how is it gonna happen? That's gonna be the big thing. So I don't think they were. And Lawrence is at a point where he has to find a new job too, because if his company lays him off or his company closes,
isn't he safe
he's gonna be bumming it up again.
Isn't he safe because he's the only black guy or some shit like that?
Yeah, probably.
He said that, but who knows? He might be just saying that.
If a company is going down, dude, a company's going down. Like, it doesn't care if you're black or Asian or white or, you know, whatever it is. Like, nothing's gonna save a company going down. So if that company goes out of business, he's out of a job. So what is he gonna do? He's gonna have to, you know, probably bum it up again.
Nah, they can't bring back Bum Lawrence. He didn't came too far to go back to being a bum.
He came way too far. Agreed.
Yeah. So then the continuing stress would be him trying to get a good job or all this other shit, you know, whatever ends up happening.
It could be, who knows what happens. I mean, honestly, they could resolve that like in one episode. Like he could literally like get another job, or his company like says, hey, you're completely safe. Don't worry about it. Like, here's a promotion or something or whatever. I don't know. Who knows?
Well, remember what he said last episode of like, if it's not my job, it's my personal life. If it's not my personal life, it's my job. If it's not any of that, it's some other shit. So there's always a but in Lauren's life, and the show keeps giving him a but. So let's see if he gets his personal life back together, but then he gets a but at work.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I don't think they're gonna throw a wrench at his career. Like, they literally just they got him to a point career wise where he's like is set, and so I don't think they're gonna throw a wrench in that. I think if anything, they're gonna keep this like I'm fucking up my personal relationships angle. I think for sure what's gonna happen. I'm not sure if they're gonna get back together, but for sure they need to have a conversation and like just talk about their breakup and talk about like what happened, because they haven't had that conversation yet. So
yeah.
Do they need to have? Why do they need to have a conversation about that?
Because Lawrence is not good at talking. I told this to
Yeah, it's like most niggas in the world. So that don't mean we need to talk just because I can't do it. Fuck it.
Well, if they're gonna get back together, they have to have that conversation.
They have to talk. They have to have a conversation.
What conversation? Bitch, you cheated. In the conversation. You told me.
Wait a minute. Wait.
She told me he wasn't doing shit. Okay.
So Lawrence is literally like what? Like he is free of like criticism in this scenario?
Yes. You cheated, bitch. You can't tell me shit.
Nah.
There was a whole other dick inside. What? Oh, what are you talking about? What are we discussing? Oh, you was on the... I don't care. You fuck somebody else. What are you telling me?
Yeah. You're right, Mike, but there also has to be a conversation of what led to that.
Right.
As in, like,
she was telling him
Lawrence...
he was a bum for months. What else is she going to... You was a bum. All right, you told me that already. What else is there to tell him?
Yeah, that's a conversation they have to have. Why were you bumming it up? What happened to you? Why were you in the slumps?
His whatever the first idea he had or whatever the shit fell through, he was a bum. He lost all motivation. He was a bum. They've had that discussion. They were having it while she was fucking somebody else. What are you talking about? I don't know. I guess maybe it doesn't even. I don't think they would need closure. They have closure. You stepped out on the relationship. I wasn't okay with it. I left. But it has to be a different conversation because they know all the variables that led to the end of their relationship.
I think in a sense you are right. Like I said, like there was an episode where his buddy was just like, "Oh, you were a straight bum like last year. You got your shit together." So I think Lawrence is aware of like the consequences or the actions that he took that led to the cheating. So obviously, I don't think they need to have a discussion about it. There were no actions that
led to the cheating. She cheated. You can't lead someone to cheat. She was out there. First of all, she was already. She had the nigga. What was his name? Daniel. She had Daniel in her back pocket from the beginning of the season. That was her high school crush or whatever. She was always trying to get some of that. That had nothing to do with Lawrence. That was just an excuse to cheat. You can't make somebody else cheat. That's nobody else's fault but hers for cheating. And this comes as somebody who's cheated a lot. And nobody can make you cheat.
I think there was a time where Mike, you and I at work we used to talk, and you're like, I think you say like, yo, I'm fucking every day, and that's still not enough.
Exactly. It's still not enough. If you're gonna cheat, it doesn't matter. The person could be the best person in the world. If you have a reason to cheat, you're gonna find a way to cheat. That has nothing to do with Lawrence. If you're unhappy in the relationship, okay, but that's no reason to cheat. Get out the relationship.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Good points, Mike. Good points. Well, Mike is so wise in his 60 years of age.
I appreciate it, man.
So wise.
Been around for a while.
So I want to bring up another point. How do you guys feel about the girl's friend that just had the baby and like she keeps finding ways to talk shit about her baby? What do you guys feel about that? It could be postpartum. Yeah, I was gonna come up with that, but what do you guys think?
I guess that would be what postpartum is.
Psychology Orlando, stop texting and join the conversation.
Okay, I was waiting for Mike to answer. So yeah,
he did answer.
Okay, yeah, I would assume it's postpartum, honestly, like, and it's just a way of like deflecting the fact that maybe this is really difficult for you to have a baby, so you kind of just make slick jokes and like one-off comments, but that does seem like what's going on, and yeah, it's the dad seems like he probably is aware of it, of like, all right, let me pick up the slack. So there's probably conversations that they're having in terms of like that we're not seeing, of like, yo, this is annoying or this is tiring, and she's just really not up for it. And he's just like, all right, this is weird. You're probably going through some shit. Cause he kind of just, when when she was like, "Hey, I'm in my vibe. Like, can you go get the baby?" He's like, "All right." And like, who knows? Like, they're such side characters, and like their interactions are so small in the show that like it could literally be anything. So we don't get enough of an input in their world to even like begin to think what's going on with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but she just doesn't seem like it. She's always making little comments like it. She wasn't ready for this, or all of it. Especially since she has everybody helping her, everything's just overwhelming for her.
Yeah.
Having a baby, just being a mother in general.
Yeah, it kind of always seemed that she was kind of like a high maintenance kind of person, kind of like maybe
like she was the one who's being babied, and now she has to do that for somebody else.
Yeah, it seemed like she's always been like high maintenance and like, not the world revolves around her, but like her man is on top of her shit. Like, what you need, I got you. Like, and it just seems that like now that the baby is requiring her attention, she's not used to it. Of like, oh, something actually needs me to put input in, and like, this is a lot. But like I said, like they're just so small of a side characters that like we don't know enough about them to even like begin to like. I think it could be those both routes. Postpartum, which clearly like that's a interesting route to go by, because usually we see like the depressive route.
Yeah, the aggressive one. Yeah.
Yeah, and then so it can be postpartum, or it can be that like I'm not used to like somebody else other than me getting the attention and having like the attention. So that's my guess.
I agree. It'll be a nice theme to touch upon at some point if they get into it.
It would be.
Yeah. Any last thoughts, gents?
Nah, that was about it. Best episode of the season.
Yeah, I
Orlando?
would agree. So far, the best episode.
All right, we got 5 more episodes left in the season.
Yeah.
All right, man. It's looking up now. The story is essentially, it could go anywhere now, because we're literally like halfway. The story we thought was gonna take all season straight up ended now.
Definitely.
So right now it could go anywhere.
Yeah, which is
Orlando's
good. It's
gonna like it
exciting.
again.
Super excited.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gents. Hope you enjoyed this discussion about Insecure, season 4, episode 5 on HBO. Hope you enjoyed our talk. Let us know what your thoughts on the episode were. Was it the best for you also? Let us know. Till next time.
Later, guys.
Outro.